Yes, sir. Episode 3 of the ComeUp VideShow is underway. Well, it's episode 3, and I think so far, I think every episode we're improving. So far, I appreciate the feedback from people who have given us and all the support. We're small, but it's about getting content out every day, getting people to see what we're up to, and just getting voices heard from these artists for people to hear. And I'm super grateful to be doing this, to talk to artists every day, because I love talking to artists. I love talking to people. So talking to people that do the same genre as me is amazing. But we're gonna keep improving, getting more artists out. If you're an artist who wants to talk about your work, please hit me up. Send me an email at carlosrcastro@thecomeupbrand.com. Again, that is carlosrcastro@thecomeupbrand.com. And today we have a special artist who I have not talked to or spoken to, I should say, in a long time, about almost 4 years now. And I'm excited to talk to her and see what we have to talk about and catch up. So Yoyidaila is an upcoming illustrator from East Salinas, currently studying at California College of the Arts. He's CCA for short, with a passion for revealing the unseen beauties in the world through oil, paint, watercolor, and digital illustration. So let's bring her up in. Oops, sorry. Where's she at? Where's, Yoyidaila, how are you doing today?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in for the show, episode 3. How you feel for being our third guest?
Oh, amazing. I love it that I'm the first girl on your show.
You know what you are? You are the first woman on the podcast. And it's funny to say because the next following guests are also women as well.
I love it.
So back to back to back women artists. It's been a while since spoken. It's about, like I told people, it's been about like 4 years.
Yeah, so much has changed. It's like so
So
different
much,
now.
right? Yeah.
I remember, like, I think the last time we saw each other, you weren't even taking pictures yet.
No, for what I wasn't at all. I don't know. I think the last time I saw you was like, man, you were probably a senior and I was a junior.
I
Or
think
probably,
so.
I don't know, probably even further back than that. But no, I was not taking pictures. I started doing that in 2015. And I don't know, were you doing art back then?
I wasn't doing it as exclusively as I do it now.
Right.
Um, I feel like my mindset at the time was very like, oh, I like to do it. Maybe I'll try and get a job doing it, you know?
Hmm.
Um, but it wasn't until I applied for art school and then I didn't get in because I applied right after high school and like
Hmm.
I didn't have like the guidance or like anyone to tell me that like, oh, it's more than just your portfolio. There's other things that go into it. And I was like very like disappointed. But then like I just worked harder and I went to Hartnell and then I transferred in and then I got there and I was like, you know what, like I really like this and like I learned so much being at art school and just like taking
Okay.
all the classes I could.
Right. CCA, how's that experience been so far for you?
I want to say it's like a love hate because I love my professors that I've had. Like, oh my god, they're the best, and like my classmates are just so talented, and like being able to like I don't know, like share our work with each other is like such a great experience.
Hmm.
But like I hate the system that's in place right now. Like I
Hmm.
just hate like so many things that's just going on like behind the scenes with like financial aid, student accounts, like just the whole system in place of art school.
That's the thing about art school too, because um, I was a student at college for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And it is true. It could be a very, very messy system, very messy institution, because
Mm-hmm.
it's obviously they're not a CSU, they're not a UC, they're their own school, they're their own institution. So it could be very, I guess, would you say unfair, injustice?
Yeah, I would say that it's very almost one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not that much like transparency between like students and faculty and then
Yes.
like admin. It's just like it's very chaotic. I want to say the systems that are in place at
Mm-hmm.
art school, at least my experience there, um, there was just like so much hassle like as being a student and having to try and like basically I don't know how to put it, like run my own accounts and stuff. Just
Mm-hmm.
having to always have to deal like with some kind of problem with financial aid or student accounts because it's almost like they don't talk to each other and it's like your offices are literally right next to each other. How could you just not say, hey, this is not right, or like, what's going on with this, you know?
Right.
And always having to be like the middleman and really push for things to get done when it's like, it's kind of your job, you know? Like,
I understand that. Yeah, and it is true because obviously you're there. Art school, I feel like it's an institution where you could focus on creating your work.
mm-hmm.
You have the resources, you have everything needed in order for you to grow your ideas, to grow your abilities to create work. But how can you focus on that when there's so much shit going on behind the scenes? It's like, fuck, am I gonna be here next semester? Am I gonna have enough
Yeah.
money? Am
Yeah.
I gonna have enough financial aid? Like there's so much going on behind the scenes and you can't really focus on your work. So I feel like I honestly, that's beautiful you brought that up because I didn't think that was a problem throughout the whole nation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a problem, I feel like, at college for such a long time. And college is such obviously a big institution, but I'm glad you brought that up at, you know, for CCA. And what do you think could be done in order to change that? What transparency, what I guess changes in the system could be done in order for.
I think that a lot of the money that we pay to these art schools could be like put into different kinds of resources. Like it could really be helpful for us to have like better counselors, like that are hired, because we do have counselors on campus, but nobody likes to go to them because we've gone and like they're not very experienced. They don't really give us good resources, and it's like it has to be more than going to a person, talking to them for an hour and be like, oh, here's the suicide hotline, you know what I mean? Like, and like just the forms that they have, like they have this cares forms that it's like it doesn't make any sense, it doesn't work. Like so many times students have said like this doesn't work, we need something else. And it's just like really being able to communicate with the students, I feel, on like the problems that's going on and like doing something about it.
So your teachers, your professors, the students are great.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
love
just
them.
the higher ups, you know, the
Yeah.
administration that just doesn't make the experience overall.
Hmm.
Do you guys have a weekly openings, like weekly shows for students to show their work?
That I know of, no, I haven't really seen that. I have seen like we have senior shows, there's junior reviews and stuff like that. I have seen a couple classmates get in shows and stuff, but it's like it's all based on the department, I feel.
And you're in illustration or
Yeah, I'm in illustration.
illustration. So how did it come about? Why illustration?
Um, I looked at the description on their program and I thought that's what I want to do because it was either between illustration or a painting and drawing major.
Mhm.
And at the time I was like, I'm not a painter. I cannot apply to be a painting major. I don't know how to
Yeah,
paint.
yeah.
And so I thought illustration, it seemed really nice. I was like, I basically do that all the time anyways. And
Okay.
so it's just like basically just telling stories through like art and stuff.
Hmm.
And it was very like, I could do that. I love telling stories. I'm a great liar.
So you were Hartnell for how long?
I would want to say 2 years.
2 years. And while in Hartnell for 2 years, were you were you making work for CCA? Were you creating your portfolio, or was this you just, you know, freelancing and just creating work for yourself? Or were you just like, all right, I'm gonna go to CCA, this is a goal in mind, I'm gonna create work, I'm gonna create a different style to submit the portfolio and hopefully get in? Or what was the process while at Hartnell?
I wanted to get a lot of the general education classes out of the way so that I could transfer in and have most of it done and just focus on like studio classes. And so I did that. And then I was making more work that I was like, just for the sake of making a portfolio to be able to say like, this is the type of stuff that I want to make. Please let me in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wasn't really focused so much on like my own like personal things. And I feel like after being there, I did start to like really feel the need to like, oh, I should make stuff on my own too, because I felt like a lot of the assignments were not doing it for me. And I was like, they're giving me the skills. And I feel like now I just have to like implement them on my own time.
Right. It's like you have that back when you have the basics, but it's like, how
Mm-hmm.
could I use it in order to create your work?
Mm-hmm.
And so most of your work is what you said, it's underrepresented women. It's about things from your personal life. What's your creative process like?
So weird because my creative process is like the complete opposite of how I love to live my life. Like I like being very organized.
Right.
I like to have like certain steps and like follow a schedule. But when it comes to making my work, it's very messy. So like I don't have very good steps into doing it. I start a painting and I do the basic steps, like I'm under painting and then the next, like, you know, another layer until I get to the end. But for the most part, I start with a sketch. It could be just like a simple idea or like just a simple sketch of one person. And then I build on that onto like what I want to do next with it. And like sometimes it works out and I finish it to the end. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I don't feel it. And I put it off to the side and I'm like, maybe I'll get back to it. Maybe I won't.
Yeah. How long does it take you to create a project on your own, or like a painting?
I want to say if it's like a watercolor, I can do it maybe like 2-3 days, like something very small. When it's an oil painting, it'll take me a couple weeks, like just because I like to wait for the paint to dry and stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really liked oil painting once I started it, was just because it is a very long process. And so it like really makes me like be able to have the freedom to like take it easy and just like go at it really slow, make changes like whenever, because the thing will not dry within a day, you know? So if the next day I'm like, you know what, I don't like it, I'll just wipe it off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for photography, well, right now I'm currently doing videography, cinematography. And it's interesting because you do oil paintings and you do watercolor. And I feel like each art form, each skill has its own different approach. Like I feel like there's not a structure in each of each of the watercolor and oil paintings. For videography, I could approach it in a different way, and with photography, I could approach it in all the different way. What are your approaches to creating work? Is there an idea behind, or is it just creative flow, like whatever you're feeling that day?
I think it's more of a flow. A lot of my work, I like listening to music, and so I'll make a playlist beforehand on
Yeah, nice.
the vibe that I'm feeling. So like
What's in that playlist?
right now I have a playlist for an oil painting that I'm starting and a digital illustration that I'm working on.
Yeah.
And so I made it very relaxed, very like low tempo, like very soft. So there's like a lot of like Billie Eilish on there. I have like Tanya by Brockhampton on there. There's a little bit of like Willow Smith. So it's very chill and like it's just relax paint playlist and that's it, because it's like that's all I want to do. It's just the vibe is just to relax and to paint and like
So
be in the
you
moment.
work to the vibe of the music?
Yeah, a lot of illustrations I do,
Mm-hmm.
like they'll start off with maybe something small, like a very basic idea, and then I build on it based off of like what I'm listening
Mm-hmm.
to really help me get like an idea of maybe the color chart or the color scheme and, you know, where things should go and like the vibe of the whole piece together.
Okay. That's interesting. Using music to create your work with that vibe.
Hmm.
That's cool. So what are your favorite artists right now currently besides these playlists? What are you listening to?
What am I listening to? I mean, I am listening to that new song by Billie Eilish, but sometimes when I'm like really feeling something way more upbeat, I'm like, oh, I want to listen to like Rico Nasty and like Princess Nokia and
You
like,
wanna get, yeah, let's go. You wanna bop, you wanna go with
mhm.
it. That's cool. What projects are you currently working on? Are you, because you're not in school right now, right?
No,
Oh.
these are just personal projects for me. So like the oil painting is a portrait of my dad,
Mhm.
that I'm making because just he passed away, and like I know that it would mean a lot to like the people around me if like I made this big oil painting like
Mhm.
to just hang up.
I'm sorry
And
to hear
then
that.
yeah, no, it's okay. And then the other one is just like it's an illustration of like me and my boyfriend, and we're just kind of like playing video games, and it's
Mhm.
just like that's like the vibe that like I just feel, and like always describes what I think of when I think of the word quarantine.
Yeah. Quarantine. How's quarantine been for you, actually? I didn't bring that up.
Oh no, it's great. I mean, I'm an introvert. My art form is an introvert art form, so I
Yeah.
don't have to go outside to do anything.
So not much has changed.
No.
Okay. So what do you see these projects, the projects that you're working on? What do you see these in the next couple months? will you be publish it online, or will you be able to try to just what do you see it? Because I mean that's the thing too. Like I mean for yourself, are you in a gallery? I don't want to say the term gallery artist, but do you like to show work in exhibitions and spaces, or is your work very personal to you? Like
My work
what do
is
you do?
very
What's out there?
personal to me. I think that's why I'm very bad at like social media and like posting my work online, because a lot of it is like they're very intimate to me, and like it's very hard for me to be able to open that up to the public and just be able to be like, look, I made this, like it, you know?
Yeah.
Like because a lot of the work I'm very like I don't need anyone's validation to tell me that it's good. If I like it, I like it, you know? And
Right.
it's like
It's your
if
piece.
I look at it and I feel something, then that's great, you know?
Hmm.
Sometimes it's nice and I feel like, yeah, I'll share it with the world because it's like maybe someone else would like this vibe, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But for the most part, I do like to keep a lot of my work personal. It's kind of the reason why I decided like that I want to pursue scientific illustration as like a career form, which is just like, oh, like making illustrations for science, you know, like the Monterey Bay Aquarium, they have illustrations of stuff, right, in their
Hmm.
their little pamphlets or whatever. An illustrator had to make that, you know, and stuff like that.
I see. That's pretty interesting. I didn't think about that as illustration because I think illustration is so cool, especially like digital illustration.
Yeah, it's real
So
fun.
what do you use? No, it's not Photoshop. What projects? What Adobe software did you use, or do you even use Adobe at all?
I do use Photoshop. I use Photoshop for a lot of my work. When it's digital, I like to use that one the most.
Also, did you? Oh, man, Photoshop is something else.
I mean,
I've
I
been
don't
trying to
know.
get on Photoshop, but it's just like you said, layers after layers after layers, and it's just like the work gets messy. It is true, it gets messy because it's like I always see how those files in there. You have them, stacked upon each other, but it's like, man, like what they do with all these.
It's the worst when you like mess it up and you're like, it was on the wrong layer. Oh my God. And now you're just like, well, fuck it.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, I don't know. Personally, I find it okay. I try to like not have so many layers open just because then it gets a little too complicated and stuff. And so it's fine. I like it.
Hmm. Talk to us about how does it feel being a woman or an artist as a woman. Do you obviously you say you represent women. What do you want people to know about yourself as a woman and who is an artist? What's
Um,
an important message for people to know?
just because you're a lady and you make art does not mean that everything you make has to be very deep or soft or very like emotional. Like I learned that as I was in art school, I had a teacher that really encouraged us to like, you know, let your freak flag fly and all this stuff. And I was like, I really like that because, you know, sometimes like me personally as who I am, I'm I'm really gross, you know, like I'm very much just like a dude, you know.
Okay.
And so I have a lot of very comedic sides to me, and like I never thought about putting that into my work and making things very like funny and stupid and stuff. And it's like just because you're a woman doesn't mean that they can't be stupid, you know? Like
Right. Yeah, no, and that's the reason too. I wanted to bring more women into the show because I'm friends with a lot of male photographers, but I feel like there's something different when you see a woman's perspective about things.
mhm.
And for yourself as a woman artist, that's awesome that you share that. What else are you looking forward to move on with your work? Would you like to do more projects about women, or is there something else you want to get out there?
I really am being back home. I've been really inspired by like, you know, our local community and stuff like that, and just like
Hmm.
very simple things like street vendors and stuff like that. The
Hmm.
paletero, like, oh my
Oh,
God.
that's awesome. Yeah, it's a cool series to do.
Yeah, because it's like just being home and like being stuck in quarantine. I have started like going on walks and stuff, you know, just trying to be more active.
Yeah.
And like I just walk around East Salinas and I'm like, you know what, it's so pretty out today. And I see so many things that I'm like, oh my God, that would be so funny in an illustration. Or like that'd be really pretty, you know? And so I just like I really am trying to start something more involved with like my local community to like really highlight it.
East Salinas, right?
Yeah.
How was that? How was growing up in East Salinas for you?
I thought it was great.
Mhm.
I feel like so many people are always like, "Oh, you're from East Salinas? Are you okay?" And it's like, yeah, I'm fine, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's really nice.
I'm great. I'm fine.
Yeah. Like, how are you? You know, like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like, it's just another place, and it's like, every place is different. Some
Yeah.
places have really shitty stuff about it, some places have really great things about it, but like, it doesn't make a difference to me. I thought it was really nice growing up here. Like, there was always like this sense of community,
Oh
like,
yeah.
especially for me because like I grew up in an apartment complex, and it's like just being able to grow up with like 5 other kids, you know, and just like
In the
we
complex,
don't,
yeah.
yeah, and it's like we don't even know each other, but like we're best friends now, you know.
It's like you know when it's like around 5 or 6, they be out there, playing or doing their things after school. They're done with
Hmm.
after school, they're done with their homework, and that's
Yeah.
the reason too. I photographed East Salinas at a certain time because I felt like the community was more vibrant. I think around 5 or 6, dude. I would definitely walk out there and just photograph the community. And but besides that, you went to what elementary school did you go to?
Fremont, Fremont
Fremont,
Elementary. Yeah,
and then you went to El Sasal.
yeah, and then I
Sasal was fun.
graduated from LSO.
Dude, let's talk about El Sasal. El Sasal was just a fun time. I think that's where we first met, but I don't know how we first met because you were in wrestling, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. How'd you like wrestling?
Oh, it was great. I guess another place where it's like it's very weird to see a woman doing this. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I
There's
don't know.
not much of a woman. Well, how many girls were in that team then?
I want to say 4. I think there were
Four?
4 girls in total when I was doing wrestling in middle
But
school.
y'all were badass though.
I mean, damn straight, right?
Yeah, y'all were badass. And then you were also in SBC?
No, I wasn't. I didn't do that
I
one.
thought you were in SBC.
No, because I wasn't really into sports. I just did wrestling, and I was like, I'm not a
That's
sports girl, but I
I
do
know where.
wrestling. Yeah.
So after wrestling, is that what the art idea came in? Like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
done with
It was a
wrestling.
lot
I
of
need
like,
something new.
yeah. I guess I always, like growing up, I always really liked to draw, but
Hmm.
I never knew that you could really do that as a living until I got older, and I was like, you can do anything, you know? And like, there's just like a lot of, I don't know. Maybe it was also the time period in which we were growing up where it's like this idea of being able to like make money doing anything you want to do, like really came about.
Hmm.
Because then I was like, oh, like I should do it, you know? Because at first I wanted to be like an animator,
Hmm.
but then I realized that it's like, that's not really for me. Like, that's not really what I want to do because it's like, yes, I like being able to create your own story, but I was like, there's too much of a process of being able to like from beginning to end with all these like frames and this and that and all the other skill levels that go into it. And I was like, I'm not an animator.
You just rather you rather put all your thoughts and idea into one piece.
Yeah, just one image to be able to get like a big point across.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah, I love that. Because like I said, I've been doing videography for the past week and it's difficult because
Hmm.
it does. You're right. It does have to flow. It does have to say that storytelling. But the beautiful thing about seeing an object, seeing a photograph or a painting or whatever, there's a story. There could be many stories within that piece.
Hmm.
With your work, what are you trying to convey? What's the
Um,
message you want to get out there? You want people to have their own opinions about your pieces, or whatever they think is what they think. Like, do you have when people see your work, what's something like what's the overall theme of it that you want people to see?
I guess I want people to feel warm or
Mm-hmm.
like I want them to get the feeling, not so
Mm-hmm.
much like the idea. I really want that to be conveyed a lot more in my
Right.
work when people see it. So like when something's really like stupid, I just want people to look at it and like laugh at it, you know? Like I remember for one of my class assignments, we made a stamp out of like lino cut.
Okay.
Um, and I remember that I just really went for it and I made it like the most stupidest thing I could think of. And like for some weird reason, like I just kept thinking of like that movie Superbad where like the kid draws all the dicks. And I was like, oh my God, that's so
Yeah.
stupid. And so like I started drawing like this weird, like any weird way to like have a dick like just be out there. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? and I remember it came out really, really funny. And like, I think it was like my most favorite thing that I've made so
Look
far,
at
just
that.
because it's really dumb.
So you didn't take it too serious, took it lightly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. Didn't take it seriously at all. I was like, if it comes out like horrible, I don't care because this is hilarious. Like, it was just so fun.
But would you say it's harder to make work to be funny?
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
right? Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, you could create a dark photography and you could get that mood, the lighting, the colors, and blah, blah, blah,
Hmm.
and this and that. But it's like, how do you make a funny work funny?
Yeah. And like, it's really hard to do. It's just like, but I don't know. I think it was maybe like the most hardest but the most funnest thing I ever did, because I
Yeah,
remember like I couldn't think of anything and I was like, I'm just gonna keep drawing dicks, like this is super bad. I'm Jonah Hill and I'm just drawing a bunch of dicks, like whatever, something will come to me. And
yeah,
then it did. And
okay.
like I have a notebook with like 5 pages of like
Just real
dicks doing
dick.
stupid things. Yeah.
Is that another thing too? Obviously, you said you took a different approach to this. Are there
Hmm.
different approaches you want to do with your work? Different
Yeah.
ideas you want to explore, or different elements that you can add to your work in order to make it stronger, to make it more detail, or anything that you could just make yourself a better artist?
I I really suck at like value when like it comes to like putting color into it, and like I really am trying to like push myself to like rely more on value than like line work to be
Hmm.
able to like create my work, just because for the most part I always like line work is just my safe spot, you know what I mean? Like it's my comfort zone, and I feel like to be a better artist I should really push myself to like try and have value, like really bring the piece together more than like relying on lines.
Hmm. Where do you see yourself going forward? Like as yourself, as your career, what's the ultimate goal for you as an
I really
illustrator?
want to be able to like be freelance, but not full time freelance. Like I really like want to have a job doing illustration, just so that like I can, I guess, inspire other people, at least from the community, and be like, if you want to be an artist, you should go be an artist because look, there's
Yeah,
a job.
yeah,
Like so many people, I think, have this idea of like the starving artist, and like if you want to be an illustrator or any kind of artist, it has to be freelance. And it's like, no, honey, like there's a bunch of stuff out there that you can do. Like, and I didn't know that until like going into art school. Like I got to like be shown all these different careers that people can get as
yeah,
illustrators. And I thought like,
yeah.
wow, that's great.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about doing community work in East Salinas or just in things in general? Like be more involved in the arts?
Yeah,
Once
I
you have a
have.
degree or whatever. I mean, would you like to come back to Salinas once you're all set?
Yeah, I have. I have thought about this like a lot,
Hmm.
where I want to be able to finish getting my degree and like maybe get a job or whatever, but I want to come back and I want to offer what are they called? Life drawing
Hmm.
classes or sessions or whatever
Hmm.
here in Salinas, because I feel like it's very like it's a great skill to have to be able to draw from life. And I never got that experience until I went to art school, and I felt like very behind other people that have been in other kind of art classes before being able to go to college there, and they all have already like taken life drawing classes, and I was very like, I have never done this before, I don't know what we're doing, and it's like I want to be able to give that to like the people here in the community that like want to push their art further.
Right.
Just it's so much better, and like once you start drawing from life you can't go back, girl.
I like that. No, and it's true. I do believe, I mean, East Salinas is just, like you said, people look down upon it. But once you've lived it, you grew up there, the type of youth that is involved in the community, and that's another thing too. I've thought about that too, like once I get my degree, once I'm set, come back to Salinas and give back,
Hmm.
because I feel like us as artists, we have all these knowledge, we have all these ideas, and why not pass it down to the next generation? And East Salinas is just a beautiful place to do that.
Hmm.
Would you ever consider going into teaching as well?
Yeah, I would like that a lot. Like I don't know what point in my career, but I would really want to be a teacher, and I would want to do it back here,
Yeah.
like in Alisal and stuff, and just be an art teacher. Like,
That's another thing too. I'm like, I mean, why high school?
mhm.
Was it because of high school? You had a great experience, or what would you teach at LSA?
Well, I would want to be an art teacher, and I would want to like incorporate like oil paintings into the classroom, even though
Okay.
that's like very dangerous in a classroom, just because it's like oil paint is flammable and it's probably not going to go well with like administrations and stuff. But like I would really want to push for different types of medias
Yeah.
in high school, and like I felt that me personally, I didn't get as much as I would have wanted to from the art teachers I had in high school. And so I would want like better teachers for like the next generation. Like I know right now JJ's teaching art at Alice High
That's
School.
right. That's right.
And like I'm very happy that he is, because he's a great artist. Like he's really good, and I'm really glad he's teaching it.
I didn't know he was an artist. I mean, does he have a background in a degree or?
I think he does. I know he went to Chico, but I can't remember if he did get it in art or not.
No,
Um,
that's beautiful because obviously he was a wrestling coach and man,
mhm.
he passed it down to Rodriguez now, and he obviously JJ is a great person, and he's obviously a great coach. But I didn't know he had that skill of being an artist in him.
Mhm.
It would have been cool because I had a Gil for art, but it would have been interesting to have JJ as a teacher because you have him as a coach. You could be intense, do your what's the thing called? You had to do alsa. You had to like what was that called? You remember?
No, I can't recall.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I think so. I
That
mean,
you
I
had to
don't know.
spell. You had to spell out alsa and you had to like do like these jump
Oh yeah, they were just. I think they were just burpees. It was just
burpees. Oh,
burpees.
I hated that. So in the practice. But yeah, no, obviously it's like it'd be interesting to see him in a classroom setting. But yeah, I'm glad for JJ, man, and his daughter is super beautiful too.
Yeah, it's great. I did a watercolor of her, and then I gave it to him.
Oh, you did? Oh man, that'd be cool. I'd love to see that after this.
Yeah. Oh no, I gave it to him. I don't
Oh,
have it
you
anymore.
didn't have to take a picture of it?
No, I don't. Do I have it? I'd have to look for it. I'll show it to you. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just a little thing because like I don't know. I started this thing where I was just like, I'm gonna make portraits of people, and I'm just gonna give it to them. I'm not even gonna tell them that I made it, and I'm just gonna go drop it off.
Oh, so that makes it extra special, doesn't it?
Yeah, and like I never posted it or anything. I never told anyone what I was
It's very
making.
sacred.
Yeah, and like I really like that experience and just being able to give it to them. And I was just like, if you like it, keep it. If you don't tell me.
Do you document your work often?
Um, yeah, when I really am like, I like it a lot, I'll take a picture of it because I feel like if I mess it up, I can start over from this point if I
Hmm.
have a picture of it.
Hmm.
And so I usually do like to document it. But if I'm really like really into it, sometimes I want to take a picture of it because I'm like, I really like where it's going. I don't need to take a picture. I'll take a picture when it's done, maybe.
Yeah, no, documentary is very important. Um, I mean, like you said, you really don't care if people like your work or they don't. How do you get people to see your work then?
I
Is
just
it
post it
word
on
of
Instagram
mouth?
whenever I do.
Uh,
I'll share it with people that are in the art industry, like some of my professors or something, and I'll be like, "Do you like this? What should I do with it?" Um, stuff like that. And like I said, I was just giving away like random paintings to people, so like that's another way. I paint plein air paint, which is
Mhm.
like on site, and so like I don't know if you can see it in the back. I have that little one.
Yeah, with the subboat. Is that no? That's not a subboat. That's a
That's over in Moss Landing where they have the little factory.
yeah.
Um,
Those colors
so
stand out a lot.
oh, thank you. It's so. I kind of like it. I kind of don't.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll push it further, but we'll see. And so I've been doing this thing where I go fishing and I just paint what I see.
Hmm.
And so the other day I went fishing over by the wharf. Um, and this couple, they were with their kids and stuff, and they were also fishing. And like the kids asked me, "Oh, can she paint us and this and that?" And I was like, okay. And I didn't have anything else to paint with except like a sketchbook, a pencil, and my old oil paints. And I was like, I can't give you an oil paint. That'll take me too long. And
Sorry, honey, I can't do that. Yeah, I gotta pay up.
yeah. And so I was like, I can give you like a little sketch or something. And so I made a little, like, I don't know, maybe like 5x7 of like their three kids. And they gave me money. And then
Nice.
that's it.
Okay, there you go. Good job, I got that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the last segment. I'm asking you some quick questions, random questions, and I'll just give me whatever pops up in your mind.
Okay.
All right. Favorite food.
The pizza.
Favorite color.
I don't have one. Maybe purple, red.
Okay. Favorite city you would like to visit.
Ooh, Paris.
Paris. One word that would describe you. Actually, three words that would describe you.
Mm, what is it? You could never.
You can never, okay. And there's one thing that you would like to improve.
Ooh, like anything?
Yeah, anything.
Hmm. I guess confidence. I would really like to improve my own confidence and like self-worth.
Beautiful. I like it. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it for you for coming, for being here, third guest. It's
Yeah,
been a
thank
pleasure.
you.
Where can people find your work?
Find me on Instagram. My at Yoyidaila, Yoyeediela.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'm gonna definitely provide the link to the description. Do you have a website as well?
No, I don't have a website.
All right.
It's in the works, it'll be here soon.
Soon you can do a big release for it.
Yeah, a big ol' release when I hit like 1,000 subscribers or something.
All right. Sounds
I'm
good.
just
Yo,
kidding.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon and we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cool. Thank you.